how will AI reshape creativity forever? And ever since ChatGPT came about, we've seen numerous of studies on the benefits, the pros, the cons, and the ups and downs of using AI and ChatGPT as a whole. But it's not just ChatGPT, it's AI in general. AI allows the democratization of creativity amongst everyone. Rather than having some artists who were bound to certain skills or certain habits or just certain routines of doing things, they're now expanded because their ability to create or co-create with AI has expanded that opportunity that has now been presented itself. So democratization of AI has essentially made creativity a lot more easier for everyone. Not that it will make your work better, but it will make it easier for you to come up with ideas, come up with different concepts and merging different concepts, but even trial and error before you even put it to work essentially. So putting AI as well as human creativity, there's no limits to it. So democratization of creativity is the first thing I think of when I think of how will AI change the future of creativity. I touched on this briefly just now, but it accelerates the creative process of doing something that once took one person or a whole team months or even years to complete now allows people to do it within days, weeks, or even just a couple hours. Now AI as a whole has its pros, as I said before, has its cons, but at the same time it's about the individual and how the individual interacts with the technology itself. So it doesn't matter if you are someone of high intelligence or low intelligence. It does really matter of how exactly are you interacting with this technology. Are you using it to better yourself, or are you using it to further decay your brain? Because let's face it, the studies have shown that over time, which is essentially AI, but using ChatGPT over time decays your brain because you're taking away that thinking process from yourself. And so a lot of your creative process could come from doing real world things here first and then taking it to AI to then synthesize or then do other theories with your creative process. But to solely rely on AI will then further decay your brain because it's the same idea of you don't use it, then you lose it. And so that's the idea of using it to accelerate your creative process rather than decaying your brain. So we touched on a few things just now. We talked about acceleration, we talked about democratization, but it also expands to new forms of creations. When we think of, let's say, AI images or AI video or even making apps in days or even coding, it opens up a broad range of new concept to even emerge from. There's things that, as I said before, the AI is only as limited as the individual using it. And so think of it as a graphic designer would interact with AI very differently than someone with, let's say, a computer science degree. I'm just using two very broad different case scenarios. I'm just saying that the level of intelligence of the individual or the level of creativity is up to the individual and how they interact with it in order to create new forms of expressions in doing so. And so the idea of it is very limitless. You can't even wrap your head around what is even possible with the use of AI and human combination right there, interacting with each other and making something come to life with something of value, something of art. That's the whole idea of creativity. And so to think of all that, once everyone's doing this new evolving art creativity idea, it also cultivates an air of collaboration. One person, you no longer have to solely try and figure this thing out by yourself, head in the dirt type of, or throwing noodles at a wall. Essentially, you can collaborate and co-create with AI and all of the intellectual properties and so on to then create something bigger than yourself even. The use of AI is not innately bad. It's the overuse of it, which is just the same as overuse of anything. In fact, that anything you overuse and overconsume or overindulge in is bound to become something bad. And so you just have to understand your limitations and how far you're willing to take that with that collaborative approach. So you can interact and collaborate with AI to then create anything. So what does this even mean for authenticity. It really strikes a nerve when you think of authenticity, because now people want a deeper sense of authenticity and meaning. Does this mean that it's less authentic? Does it mean it's more authentic? How will people start viewing this and viewing themselves while interacting with this thing and themselves? It's all about the mentality around it. Are you approaching it from the space of you want to solely rely on AI, as I said before, you want to solely rely on it, or you want to come to your own conclusion, you want to come to your own thesis on doing stuff and then approaching it from a different perspective, and then that gives it more authentic feeling. Let's say, for instance, you are someone who makes videos. Instead of using it to solely script it, you can use it to write an outline. Well, you have an idea and you gave it that outline and you wanted to now synthesize the information. Or you say you write a blog, you want to then put more meat on your information, more so using that AI in a more authentic way rather than inauthentic. Are you plagiarizing, or are you giving something to be plagiarized? Is that what they call it? I'm pretty sure. It's that idea. And as I said, through and through, it's like creativity without limit. It's almost as in anything you can imagine, you can almost wield it to your will. People can debate day and night whether or not you can achieve anything you put your mind to. Well, my belief is that yes, you might be born with some innate skills, you might be more gifted than other people, but at the same time, even if you're not gifted and you're pulled strongly towards something, there is a chance there for you to go in and do your very best day in and day out with consistency, action, as well as unwillingness to be stopped. The whole idea of being unstoppable is to not stop. So really pursuing that and not stopping towards whatever goals or creative process or creative outlet that you want to achieve for yourself. And that's my take on it all. Anyways, that's it for today's video. It was very short, but leave down below something you took away from this video, or just something you want to add on to it, and leave down below video recommendations for the next videos. Thank you guys for watching, and I really appreciate you guys taking the time out of your day. So see you in the next one. Peace.